Hello and welcome to the final day of From Logic to Living. I'm very proud I made it through the 21 days. And if you're still here, also very proud and grateful that you are still here. Yeah, I'm enjoying the sun in Turkey, locked in a new photo shoot for the new program I'm working on to be released very soon. And on this very last day of From Logic to Living, I actually want to speak about the key factor that helped me move from logic to living. So from this mindset of, having to control everything, overthinking everything, feeling overwhelmed, feeling like I have to do everything alone. Also, this sense of meaningless in life that I talked about. And this factor is really trusting into something higher, into a higher power, higher force, re-establishing this connection with what I now call the divine. And you can call it the universe, you can call it spirit, you can call it life force energy, you can call it whatever you want. Words at this point don't really matter. They're just signposts to the reality, right? So we can never 100% capture reality. So we can just make approximations of what is true, right? This is also in science and in physics. We always say that the models and the signs that we use are just approximations of reality, and so are words. So it doesn't really matter. Whatever word you feel comfortable with, pick that one. And in the very beginning, I wasn't comfortable with any of these words. I did not have any kind of faith. I did not have any kind of connection to a higher power. So I completely understand if this feels weird, triggering, it feels like bullshit. Yet I honestly just want to invite you to not just reject it completely, but just stay open and see if you can just listen without having to, instantly agree with me or instantly feel that this resonates. And if it resonates, even better, right? Then great that you've already opened up that connection to this power, because this is, yeah, such a powerful way to live, to be, that I honestly just wish every human gets access to this. Yeah. So finding this connection and this a powerful shift for me was was I mean, this is not something where you start believing because someone tells you something, and it's not. So the reason why I didn't have any kind of faith, and the reason why for me religion wasn't something that I felt drawn to, even though, I'm baptized and I um, did have classes in school, so I attended Protestant religion classes in school, but I couldn't take it in. I didn't feel the pull because I think the problem with the religion, the way we live it, teach it here in the West, is like you get the Bible, people tell you stories, people tell you things about what God is supposed to be, and then you're basically just asked to believe it. And what opened up this connection for me and what has shifted that, I mean, I'm not religious, I'm not following any religion, but now I can see what religion is pointing at. I have a sort of understanding because basically all our religions are pointing to the same underlying truth, and also all the spiritual paths point to the same underlying truths. It's different ways of describing it, it's different ways of getting there, it's different messages that they use. So, for example, Christianity uses Jesus, and then Kundalini yoga, which is not a religion, so they are not a religion. They say it's a technology, but Kundalini yoga, which I practice a lot, for example, the messenger for that was Yogi Bhajan. Or then for yoga generally, like there is different yogis who brought these teachings onto this planet. So the reason why I can now understand what all these traditions, all these lineages are pointing to is because I found an experience. I found an experiential way of experiencing what they mean through yoga, meditation, and in the beginning also very much Buddhism, because in Buddhism, often what they say is it's not about we tell you something and you believe it. It's more like this is the truth. Now go and experience it for yourself. And you can experience it yourself if you do X, Y, Z. So it's much more about how can you experience this connection to the divine. So for me, what opened up the connection is really being able to experience it. And it's much more about finding your own truth from all these different traditions and lineages and and techniques and practices, and then getting into this experience so that you can feel this connection and you can reestablish it instead of being told that it exists and you just believe it and you just believe certain stories. So this is how I yeah, rediscovered the connection to the divine, and I now believe in what I call co-creation with the divine. So basically, I believe that there is a higher power. I came here to this planet with a purpose, and I know that I don't have to do everything alone. I have a much bigger trust in life, in this higher power, in this force that is within us all that guides me, that I don't have to figure it out anymore. I don't have to rely on my mind, on my head. I don't have to be my head all the time. I can just reconnect with this inner voice, with my body, with this inner guidance, and then move from there. That is also why it's so much easier for me now to live with uncertainty. I know I don't have to have it all figured out. I don't have this whole business plan set up. I don't have to set goals for what, I want to achieve in XYZ months. I mean, even though I can, but I also know I don't have to have a full plan and it can still be successful. And it doesn't have to come from my head. There is so much more intelligence in also lower wisdom centers that I talked about in a previous video, like in our heart, in our first and second chakra. And whenever you connect to this wisdom within yourself, you're connecting to this higher power. So you don't have to do it all alone. And this is what I call co-creation with the divine. And if you want to get into an experience where you can start to feel that connection, where you can strengthen that connection, where you can open up to that connection, I invite you to my free event, Co-Creation with the Divine, because hustling has the worst ROI. It's going to happen on May 29th, 4 p.m. I'll put the link in the comments. You're so welcome to join. I would love to see you there. It's completely okay. So I'm back inside now because apparently the Wi-Fi connection is stronger here. So co-creation with the divine, because hustling has the worst ROI. My free live online event, 29th of May, 4 p.m., about an hour and a half to 2 hours, let's see. And this is not going to be a webinar or a masterclass. It's going to be an experience because I want you to open up to this experience. I want you to feel that truth. It's no longer about someone telling you something and then you take it as truth and you just believe it. This is about finding and feeling into your own truth. What is true for you? And reestablishing your connection to your inner guidance and your truth and your inner voice. So, yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be an awesome experience. I'm so looking forward. I would love to have you there. I'll put the link in the comment. You're you're so welcome to join. Yeah, and this also concludes this 21-day challenge from logic to living. Like I said, I shared my most crucial secret or key ingredient that moved me from logic to living, which is trust in the divine, trust in a higher force, co-creation with the divine. And I just want to invite you to open yourself up to this as well, even though it might sound crazy at the very beginning. I was completely logical, I was completely analytical, I had a very mechanistic worldview. You had told me that one day I would go live on Facebook talking about co-creation with the divine. I would have told you you're crazy. And yet here I am, and I'm so grateful that this happened. And yeah, if you're on this journey too, I would love to walk with you and support you in finding your own way, finding your own connection back to the co-creation and connection with the divine. I would love to hear your thoughts, what resonates for you, what doesn't. Share in the comments what have you taken from this challenge. And thank you for being here. And I hope to see you soon back here online somewhere on the internet. Have a beautiful day. Bye.